two engineering masterpieces, two machines representing the absolute peak of modern aerospace technology. The American F-22 Raptor and the Russian Su-57 Felon sit at the center of a global debate over which one truly rules the sky. The F-22 Raptor was born in the skies over Nevada. Introduced in 2005 as the world's first operational fifth-generation fighter, it was designed with a single goal: to dominate the sky before an opponent even knows it is there. Rising from the Russian steppes, the Su-57 Felon is the newer challenger. Developed under the PAC-FA program and entering service in 2020, it represents a radical shift for the Russian aerospace industry. If you look at standard spec sheets or listen to internet forums, finding a definitive winner feels impossible. The numbers contradict each other, and national pride often blurs the engineering facts. To accurately evaluate these aircraft, we have to look past the hype. We need to judge them based on the specific strategic combat doctrines they were engineered to execute. This radar chart maps out the four critical pillars of modern aerial combat: stealth, speed, agility, and sensor fusion. As the polygons fill in, you can see these jets excel in almost completely opposite quadrants. The Raptor prioritizes absolute invisibility, operating as a high-altitude, unseen sniper. The Felon trades that level of stealth for extreme physical adaptability, functioning as an AI-enhanced brawler. Understanding these machines requires accepting a basic truth: their designers were not preparing for the exact same hypothetical war. Let's look first at beyond visual range combat. This is the ideal environment for the F-22, engaging targets tens of miles away, long before the pilot can physically spot the enemy. To dominate at this range, Lockheed Martin engineers utilized strict planform alignment. This top-down view shows how every major edge, the wings and the stabilizers, is perfectly parallel to reflect radar waves away from the source. External weapons create massive radar signatures. The F-22 solves this by storing its full combat payload completely inside the fuselage, allowing it to carry missiles without compromising its smooth, stealthy exterior. The result is a radar cross-section so low that the F-22 can detect and destroy targets before its own presence registers on enemy sensors. Once a missile is off the rail, the F-22 uses supercruise to sustain speeds up to Mach 2.25. It achieves this supersonic flight without using fuel-heavy afterburners, maintaining high energy for the duration of the mission. The Sukhoi Design Bureau took a different route. They looked at the aerodynamic sacrifices required for absolute radar invisibility and deliberately chose to compromise on stealth perfection. The Felon still utilizes internal bays and radar-absorbing materials, but its structural geometry makes it more visible to defense networks from certain angles compared to the Raptor. This bar chart compares the estimated capabilities directly. While the Felon's newer engines maintain a competitive Mach 2.0 supercruise, its radar cross-section remains larger than the F-22's. That massive investment in stealth forces a high-stakes trade-off. The F-22 must secure the kill early, because the strict geometry that makes it invisible also limits its physical adaptability if a fight gets close. If long-range missiles miss, pilots enter the merge. The distance collapses to a few miles, and survival relies on physical maneuvering. Here, the Su-57 deploys its primary mechanical advantage: 3D thrust vectoring engine nozzles. The Raptor features 2D thrust vectoring, meaning its exhaust only pivots up and down. The Felon's engines can independently direct thrust in multiple directions, giving the pilot a significant edge in agility. This creates unprecedented post-stall maneuverability. The pilot can use engine thrust to pivot the airframe and point the nose even while the jet is technically stalling. Maneuvers like the Kulbit or Pugachev's Cobra enable a pilot to rapidly decelerate and violently shift the aircraft's angle, forcing a pursuing enemy to overshoot their target. This points to a core tenet of Russian aerospace doctrine: the assumption that rapidly advancing radar networks will eventually render all stealth obsolete. The Felon is a contingency plan for a post-stealth battlefield. If you can be seen, survival depends on physical evasion and the ability to outmaneuver incoming threats. The American jet is highly agile, but its stealth-focused structure prevents it from matching the Felon's most radical acrobatics. Sukhoi sacrificed the guarantee of invisibility for the guarantee of survival, banking on the jet's agility when close-quarters combat becomes unavoidable. Physical performance is useless without data. The final evaluation comes down to situational awareness and electronic data processing. The F-22 relies on a singular, incredibly powerful piece of hardware: the AN/APG-77 ASA radar mounted in the nose. This creates a highly optimized forward-facing cone of absolute electronic dominance, allowing the pilot to scan the airspace ahead with total clarity. This animated diagram contrasts that with the Su-57's Bielka system. It distributes multiple overlapping radar arrays across the wings, sides, and tail of the airframe. Rather than a single massive cone, these distributed nodes combine to give the Russian pilot 360 degrees situational awareness. Processing this overwhelming volume of multi-directional data requires artificial intelligence to filter the information and assist the pilot in making split-second decisions. However, this approach is complex. The Su-57 system is inherently prone to data fusion bottlenecks, whereas the F-22 uses a proven, battle-tested, and highly focused architecture. We are looking at a clash between a specialized offensive tool and an omnidirectional defensive net. So who wins? There is no universal king of the skies. Superiority is entirely conditional. To evaluate the winner, we look at the combat environment, from beyond visual range to close combat, and from a single target to chaotic airspace. If the mission requires a surgical first-strike kill while remaining entirely undetected, the Raptor is unmatched. The Su-57 anchors itself in the dense, close-quarters domain. If the airspace is compromised, radar is failing, and survival relies on AI awareness and physics-defying agility, the Felon takes the lead. Both aircraft represent the absolute peak of their respective philosophies. The engineering teams achieved exactly what their military doctrines demanded. Ultimately, the superior aircraft is simply the one fighting the specific war that it was engineered to win.